Hey, what's up, guys? No, it's not Gamer here. Today we're going to do something a little different today. Oh, happy 4th of July, by the way. By the time of this filming, it is 4th of July, so happy 4th of July to everybody out there. Today we're going to do something a little different. I am going to play Magic the Gathering. So we'll see how this goes. This is kind of going to be like a teaching video on how to play. It's ultra nerdy, yes, I understand for sure. It's very nerdy, but I have a feeling that the more people learn how to play, the more people are actually going to appreciate it. I mean, the game's been around since I think it came out in 92, 93, maybe? I could be completely wrong on that, but I think it was 92, 93 when Magic the Gathering first came out. Yep, 1993. Magic the Gathering underwent a general release on August 5th, 1993. Pretty sweet. So yeah, so they must be doing something right if the game's been around since 1993. It's only gotten bigger. There's different kinds of modes. There's Commander, there's Standard, there's Historic. There's all kinds of different modes you can play. Typically one of the major ones is it's best of 3. That way you kind of get a better chance because you can actually have cards on what they call the sideboard, so you can use those cards to play against other people, like in a best of 3 match. That way you can kind of figure out, well, hey, this person's using these cards, and if they win, you can be like, well, I have these cards that might counteract, might be a better fit. So most people do best of 3. That's like the big one, but I just like best of 1. It's totally random who goes first. There is no you get to go first every time, they get to go first every time. There's nothing like that. It is supposed to be totally random. And what I like about using this arena is the fact that if you can't do that, if you can't do something with the cards, it won't highlight the cards. So this is definitely, it's free to download Magic the Gathering Arena on your PC, whatever. So if you want to do that, you can. And like I said, that's what I like about using this is if you can't do that with the cards, then it's not going to let you do it. So it'll highlight the cards that you can actually use, the plays you can use, and it'll ask you to certain things. So that's why I kind of like playing this online. I think it's really cool. It's a really good learning opportunity. So what we're going to do is play against the computer. Yeah, we're going to try that. And I'm going to try something really basic first. So let's get this started. We will be playing against a bot. Yeah, they call the bot Sparky. Okay, so as you can see at the top, it does say opponent goes first. You get to dealt a cards of 7. There is 60 cards in a deck. You can have more than that, but it's kind of hard to have more than that because then you got to add more cards that they're called mana, which is what gives you abilities to use the cards. So you got to add more of that if you're going to do that. But 60 cards is usually what everybody does. Typically, you have about 24 lands, and I'll show you what these. As long as I don't think there's a timer on this anyway, so we can just kind of take our time, I imagine. So there are tons of keywords in the game, and each time there's a new pack, new deck that comes out, they'll typically add a new word, like a new mechanic, as I like to call them. Typically a new mechanic, that's what all the new decks will typically do. They'll introduce something else, or they'll just build upon something that was used in the past and bring it back, perhaps. But yeah, so that's that. So I don't think we're going to be on a timer, so I think we're golden there. So what we have here is Mountain. These cards are land cards. There's Mountain, Island, which is blue, white, which is plains, black, which is swamp, and green, which is forest. Those are the cards that give you abilities to play these cards. As you can see, right here in the top right, this is the cost. I can't really get a good... But as you can see in the top right of the card, you'll see a red dot. So in order to play that card, you need one of the land cards to be played out. If you are to use one of the lands, what we call is you tap it. And so you can only play cards if you can actually get the cost of the card, you need to be able to fulfill. Like, I only have 2 red cards if we were to play. So if there was a card that came up, let's say, luckily all these there's no more than 3, so we can actually play every card that's in our deck. If it's got a random number to it doesn't have a color, that's called colorless mana, which you can use any color for that. So they will be using forest, which is the green color. So now to play any of their cards, they're going to have the cost is only going to be able to be 1 red, if they had any, which they don't have any cards for that cost. But typically with red, these are fast decks, is what they call it. Aggressive, aggro is what you want to call it. So we will play this land. As you can see, it's up straight. There's nothing to it. So now it's highlighting which cards we can play, which is why I like using this. It's what I love about using Arena. So as you can see, we got a red card here. That's our land. That's mana is what they call it. So we are going to be able to play this 1 card because it only costs 1 red mana. And as you see, as we play it, this red card will tip to the right. Okay, see, that means we used it. Now we can't use it to play any other spells this turn. So we will attack. Each person starts with 20 life in standard. That's how that works. So now if they have a card that costs 2, which as you can see right here, it's got 1 forest and 1 colorless. There's 2 mana here. One of them is green, which fulfills that top right one. Then at the left is a colorless, any mana they want to use. So they use the 2. So what we're going to do, we're going to play a land. And let's go ahead and give this creature here. Okay, so we have this guy. He's got flying. Now, that's another one of those keywords. Like I said, there's plenty of keywords, but once you learn the keywords, it's actually pretty simple. But in order for him to attack this, he can't attack it unless or block it, I'm sorry, if he has no, it's called reach, which usually has a picture of a, yes, thank you, lady, bot. Typically, reach was a picture of a bow and arrow. He can block it if he had that, or if he had another creature that's flying. He has no creature that has the keyword flying, so he cannot block this. So we're going to go ahead and attack. Bingo bambo. Like I said, there's tons of keywords. This one has the same keyword as us. No, we're going to go ahead and let that go. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to play a land, and as you can see right here, there's this card. This is a sorcery, which is, as you can see here, we have creature. It says creature, phoenix in the middle of the card. Creature, a dwarf wizard. Those are even more keywords there's different types of creatures. As you can see here, sorcery is a card that you can only play on this lady. You can only play cards. If it's a sorcery, you can only play it on your turn. So we're going to go ahead and use this. So let's go ahead and give 3 damage. As you can see right here, which I didn't really talk about, on the right, which I'm pointing to, that's the creature's life total. It's called, let's see, there's strength, and then, why can't I remember the life? But yeah, the life is how much life they have on the right. The one on the left is how much power they have. Oh yeah, on the right, it's called toughness. So the creature has 2 toughness. But as you can read the card, it says Strangle deals 3 damage to target creature. It only has 2 life, so I'm going to use this. Now that's dead. There's one thing. Now, if you look at this card, it says Trample. Anything that's Trample is if my power on this card is 2, and let's say that they had a card that was a 1/1, typically, if it's going to block it, it's going to be called a chump. Yes, thank you. I am taking my time. It's actually called a chump block. And let's say this creature was up, and this guy did not have trample, and he was just a 2/3. Well, let's say he was a 1/3. It means he had 1 toughness and 3 life. So he will attack this card. That's not a really good example. We're going to go ahead and I'll show you what I mean here. So this guy's got trample, but he's not going to be able to block, so it doesn't matter. This ability says, under the word trample, it says whenever you cast, which anytime you cast something, you use your mana and play the spell. That's what these are called. They're spells. So anytime you play the spell, it's saying whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you will put a +1/+1 counter. And as you can see right there on the 1, it already has 1 counter on it. So it's a 2/3. It was a 1/2 when it came in, but it got a +1/+1, which makes it a 2/3. But now we're going to go ahead and cast another instant. And as you can see right here, target creature gets +3/+1 until the end of my turn. We're not going to worry about reading the bottom part. We're just going to show you the basics of attacking, and then we'll get into exile and all that stuff later. Right now, I just want to show you how attacking works and how blocking works. So we're going to put it to this guy. All right, that gave it the +3/+1 because I used the card. Also, like I said, underneath where it says trample, it says whenever you cast a instant or sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on electrostatic infantry. So that's why I got a +1/+1 as well. In the middle, it says instant. And like I said earlier, instants you can play anytime. She's talking garbage. It's so funny. And in the middle here, in this keyword, you see sorcery. Remember, sorcery are cards that I can only play on my turn. I could have played that instant on their turn. Instants you can play anytime. That's why they're called instants. You play them instantly. So we're going to go to attack, bring their life total down. Now they only have 11 life. Let's do that. Okay, so this guy's got a trample as well. This is a trample as well. So, I wish I could... Let's use... Nah. I'm going to play another creature. I want you guys to see what attacking would look like. So we're going to give this guy a 3/4. I'm just going to go ahead and give this. It says 2 damage to any target. Any target specifies the person you're playing against, a creature, whatever the keyword says, to any target. That means anything is a target. Sometimes you can only specifically use the cards to attack a creature. This one, however, says any target. Therefore, I can use the 2 damage on the player that I'm playing against, as well as any of the creatures. So I'm going to go ahead and give this 2 damage. I'm going to bring that life total down to 9. So now, as you can see, since I played another instant right here, which is what it says in the middle, instant, that gave it another +1/+1, because it says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on electrostatic infantry. So now we will attack. This guy may block, but he chooses not to. Hopefully this guy will attack and I can show you. Okay, good. We'll go ahead and use this. This is a good example. I'm glad the computer attacked. So he's attacking with a guy that has 3 strength, 3 toughness. It means he's got 3 life, and his attack power is 3. Now, he also has the ability Trample, and Trample is excess damage that when 2 creatures fight.
You can do
I love how I talk shit. That's so funny. But the computer doesn't know that I'm trying to teach. So anything that says Trample, which is that word that's the dark word in the middle of the card, he's going to attack with 3 power. He has 3 life. Now, I'm going to use this block here. Okay, so now this guy only has 2 attack power, and this guy has 3 toughness. Therefore, he's going to attack for 2, but he has 3 life. So therefore, my character, is not going to kill this card. My character needs the number on the left to be 3, because that's my strength. Then I would kill this card. It doesn't have that, but he's got a strength of 3. My guy has a character, his toughness is only 3. That's his life total. So 3 is obviously the same as 3, so 3 damage is going to go through to this guy. He's only got 3 life, 3 damage to 3 life. My guy will die. There. So the number stays up, so he's still at 2 damage through this, so that left him 1 life. That 1 life is only going to stay for the end of this person's turn. So I'll show you this one. We have this guy beat. Easy peasy. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So target creature gets plus 4, plus 3 until end of turn. So it's going to make that an 8. So plus 4. This one's going to be 5 plus 3, which is also an 8. So it should be an 8/8. However, I'm playing a instant or sorcery spell to put a +1/+1 counter on this dude. Therefore, he'll be an 8/8. That'll make him an 8/8. However, like I said, we're using instant or sorcery, so it's going to go ahead and put another +1/+1. So now it'll be a 9/9 creature, as you can tell right here. Boom. See, he's got 9 life. Now, this guy can block with him, but he's got trample in the middle. So like I said earlier, any excess damage will go through because he has the word trample. This guy has 1 toughness. This guy has 9 strength. So easily we got 9 minus the 1. So he's going to do 8 damage to this guy, which is easily enough to kill him because he's only got 4 life. So as you can see, let's even do this. Watch this. So it also says, this instant says, you can target attacking creature, gets +2/+2 of end of turn. So now that I'm going to give it +2/+2, it's going to be an 11/11. However, on this creature, it says whenever you cast an instant or... I had no idea I could mute them. I should have just muted the guy the entire time. That way I don't have to worry about the computer talking. Usually you have a timer if you're playing against actual people, but because I'm playing a bot, you don't have to worry about time, so that way I can actually explain how to play. So like I said, he's a 9/9. However, this card here, there's 2 options, but I can only choose one, what it says on the card. Destroy an artifact. An artifact has to be one of the keywords. This one's creature, elf, druid. No, that does not match. Creature, beast, does not match. There are no artifacts out. These are all creatures that are out on the board. So, cannot use the first ability because it only says destroy target artifact. And none of the keywords in the middle are artifact. Can't kill it. However, on the bottom, it says target attacking creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, which will make this an 11/11. However, I know there's a lot to it. However, he's at 11/11, but like his ability says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on the infantry guy. So 11/11 with this. However, I'm using an instant, which is the keyword in the middle, so that's going to give it another +1/+1, which will make it a 12/12. Boom. Excess damage went through. He took 1 damage. So, yeah, I guess I could go over this. I didn't even go over this part here. So this was the card that he went against. He had 1 strength, which is the bottom number. The 2 numbers that are in the bottom right, it's the number on the left. That's his strength. So this guy was a 12/12. However, he had 1 strength. So that 1 strength is going to do 1 damage to this character's toughness. That's why he went down from a 12 to an 11. However, we had trample. So this 12 is going to go through him. He only had, 1 toughness, which is the number on the right. So 12 minus the 1 would be 11. So 11 damage went through. However, if this creature did not have the keyword trample, the 1/1 would be sufficient enough to block this character because he's only got 1/1 life. However, if he didn't have this keyword trample, that means no excess damage will go through. The number will just stop. So that's what I mean by chump blocking. So if I didn't have trample, this guy could have put this one in front of here, and I wouldn't have done anything to him. They just would have, I mean, he would have killed him because he has 12 strength. However, there'd be no excess damage to go through because if he didn't have the keyword trample, no excess damage. Any card, character, creature, if there's a card that you use, instant sorcery, any card that you use will go into what is called the graveyard. Yes, each player has a graveyard, which is what was in here. And as you can see on this little diagram in the right, it says, top left, it says 2 with a picture of a hand. That means the guy that I'm playing against had 2 cards in his hand. Number in the top right has pictures of cards that say 49. And like I said, you each start with a deck of 60. So that's how many cards he used. He's only got 49 cards left in his deck. Any card that died or any instant or sorcery that he used would go into the graveyard. There are ways of bringing cards back from the graveyard, but none of my cards have that ability. So that's that. We're just kind of going over the basics. And I think mono red is the best way to learn because it's fast and it's the best way to figure out how much damage and strength is going through and all that stuff. So I think it's a good mono red. It's probably easiest to learn. So like I said, red is typically fast. Those are fast decks. Green decks focused on creatures, but big giant creatures like a character that comes in with a 12/12 or an 11/11. Green green decks focus on giant creatures. Red decks are known for fast. This one here has got 2 keywords under Creature Phoenix. It says flying, haste. Oh, as you can see right here, perfect, good on the top right. Or on the right of it says flying. A creature with flying can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. And then in the middle it says haste, which is his next keyword. And Arena here will do this for every card. It will explain to you what every keyword is. That's why I like Arena so much, because it makes Magic easy to learn. And I feel like once you learn it, you can appreciate it more because it really is a fun game. Like I said, been around since '93, so obviously they're doing something right. But back on the subject here. In the middle it says haste, which means a creature with haste can attack and tap, which sometimes creatures, I don't have any cards like that in this deck. Sometimes a creature will have a picture of an arrow pointing to the right, and anytime you use a card, it taps it to the right. So on the turn before, and that's why this guy that says Treetop Warden and Baloth Pack Hunter, he used those cards. He attacked, so therefore he taps them. Anytime you use a card or its ability, such as mana, you have to tap it. That's what that's called. And let's go back here. What was he at? This guy. Okay. So yeah, in the middle, creature with haste can attack, and any ability where you can tap as soon as it comes under your control. And if it's got a picture of a shield with a line pulled through it, that means the Phoenix Chick can't block. So no matter how much he sends to me, I can't use my Phoenix Chick as a blocker. However, the strength of the Phoenix Chick is it's got flying. And like I said, and as you can see in the top here, it says a creature with flying can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. So that's that. So hopefully, we'll play another one here. And hopefully the computer will let... What is this? Huh. Okay, my mono red. Hopefully the guy will use something other than green. But like I said, green focuses on giant creatures, red focuses on fast creatures, and using these, like Strangle deals 3 damage to target creature. Let me go ahead and mute. There we go. So let's go ahead and keep this. I get to go first. I'm going to play a mountain. Comes in straight. I don't have to tap it yet. This is going to highlight all the cards that I can play with 1 mana, which is right here, just this creature. So I'm going to go in here. It has the keyword haste, which means it gets to attack right away. I need something that doesn't have haste. That way I can show you what that is. Ooh, blue. Okay. So blue is very interesting. Blue will focus. I'm glad it's showing me different colors. That's awesome. Blue focuses on instant sorcery spells, things such as what is called countered, which if I were to play an ability, I'm hoping he'll actually show you what counters are. Okay, now it's showing me all the cards that I can play. Let's go ahead and attack. Okay, so he's using this instant ability. Return target creature to its owner's hand. So once I resolve this, it will send the creature back to my hand, and I can't use him to attack because it went back to my hand. However, we're going to go like this before I do my turn. He already used his mana. He's tapped out. Therefore, he's not going to be able to play any cards until his turn because this card is tapped. I, however, can go ahead and send this back out. I can't attack. It's got haste because the attack phase is over. We'll go over the phases here in a second. Okay, let's read the ability of this guy. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, which is the computer's control, this guy, this Waterkin Shaman, is going to get +1/+1 until the end of turn. Which is pretty good. He's got the... Okay, that's just describing the ability. So we're going to go like this. Now this guy is tapped out. He can't play any spells. So we're going to go ahead and... Let's just use this for now. It's going to deal 3 damage. He only had 1 toughness. That card's dead. So let's just go ahead and give this card +4/+3. Now it's a 5/4. Boom. He's down to 14 health. Okay, as you can see, he played another spell. He had 1, 2, 3. 3 mana to 3 cards. So this guy's cost is in the top right. It's got a picture of 1 drop of water. That's the island symbol. So he used that, and he also used 2 more islands. And then the number to the left is, there's that colorless mana, which I was talking about earlier. So as long as he had, so that adds 3. He used 3 mana, which is the 3 cards that he has, those 3 islands. He used those 3 abilities, so therefore he paid the cost. He cast the creature. However, he has no cards. He can't counter any of my spells. So I'm going to go ahead and deal 3 damage to this dude and kill it. Actually, you know what? Let's do this first. So we're going to do this. It's got 2 abilities. I'm not going to do the damage to this guy. I'm not going to worry about it. However, I'm going to use this ability. This says discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. So I'm going to use this instead. But now I have to discard 2. So let's get rid of this one and this one. As I discard this card, as you can see, this has got a keyword at the bottom. It says flashback. And to the right, which what I love about Arena, explains to you what the flashback keyword means. It says you may cast this card from your graveyard, which is the area to the right. Anytime you use a spell, anytime a creature dies, it goes to your graveyard. So, saying flashback, you may cast this card from my graveyard at its flashback cost. And then I will exile it. I haven't talked about exile yet, but I will. So, as you can see, this card right now has 1 colorless, 1 red mana, so I'd have to pay 2. However, the flashback cost is going to be more. Because essentially, whenever you get to use a card again, they're going to up the cost. So now, next time I use this card, I'm going to need 4 mana. 3 colorless and 1 red. So let's go ahead and get rid of this one, these 2. So I'm going to submit 2 cards. Ooh, that's huge. Wow. Boom, 2 damage. Right now, I have 3 mana, but I have no creatures to use any of my abilities. But as you can see, my Phoenix Chick, during the combat phase, it went against this Warden of Evos Isle, which is the creature on the left. He used that card to block my creature. They engaged in combat. His guy had 2 strength, 2 toughness, which is the 2/2. My guy only had 1 strength, 1 toughness. That way, my guy is, anytime 2 creatures attack, they both submit the damage to each other. So I dropped him down to a 1/1 because I had 1 strength. That dropped it down to a 1/1. This guy had 2/2. My creature only had a 1/1. Therefore, his strength was much higher. So that's why his 2/2 killed my guy, because my guy is only a 1/1. And this guy's life total on the bottom went to a 1/1. Because you still have to, even though they're fighting each other and this guy killed this guy, you both have to do the damage for both characters. Both characters will do the damage to each other whenever they engage in combat. So he had 1/1. At the end of the turn, he gets to keep the 1/1. His creature's still alive. His turn ends, and now his creature goes back to where he started at, a 2/2. I have no creatures to play, so therefore I'm going to hit pass. Ooh, this dude has tons of creatures. Okay. All right. Once again, I did not have any creatures. His creature only cost 1 blue, 1 man. That's why there's only 2 cards tapped. He's doing some serious damage to me. Okay. Let's go over the steps of engagement, essentially. The phases for each character, each turn. As you can see right here, it's going into the combat phase. He has to declare who he's going to attack with. He tapped them to the side, therefore those 3 creatures that are tapped are coming to attack me. I have no blockers, therefore he's got a 2 here for his strength. He's got a 3 here for his strength, which is the number on the left. That's 5. Strength of 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. He's going to do 6 damage to me because I have no blockers, no way to block. So I should go down to, what, 12 life. So he's declaring his attackers. Then we'll go on to the next phase. If I were to have creatures, the next phase is I get to declare my blockers. If I had more than 1 creature, I could pick who I want to fight who. But I have no creatures to fight, therefore I cannot do anything. So, blockers phase, I cannot declare any blockers because I do not have any creatures to block. So we're going to go past this. This one is the combat damage. What's the result of each battle in the middle when creatures fight each other? Or, like I said, no blockers here, just the damage that's going to happen to me now. Like I said, 6 because he had 2 strength. 3 strength, that's 5, plus another 1, which is the number on the left, the strength, 6 damage, I go down to 12. Boom. And as you can see, I'm not drawing any creatures. He should be able to kill me, right? Let's see, we got 2, 3, 5, 6, and then 7, 8 with the 2. Number on the left, 2 strength, 3 strength, that's 5, 0 strength, don't know why he's attacking, it's not going to do any damage to me, plus another one, 6 strength, plus another 2, 8 strength, go down to 4 life. Declare my blockers, if I had any, I have no creatures, therefore I cannot block. So now it's going to go to combat damage phase. Down to 4 life. I'm in trouble because I don't have any creatures to block. This dude can block. Ooh, let's see if I can do some damage here. I don't think it's going to work. So, this guy's ability. This guy's a 1/2. He's got 1 strength, 2 toughness, 2 life. He's got haste. Keyword for haste. A creature with haste can attack tap for its ability. If it had one, it doesn't have any abilities, as soon as it comes under my control. So he's going to attack right away. Prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so instant, sorcery, artifact, enchantment, which we haven't seen any enchantments yet. Typically, red doesn't use too many enchantments. It will, but typically it doesn't use that many enchantments. But so anytime I cast a non-creature spell, it gets a +1/+1 just until the end of turn. Then it goes back to 1 strength, 2 toughness. We're going to attack. So I don't think I'm going to have enough to beat it, but we're going to try and attack it anyway. Okay, so we're going to go like this. +4/+3. That's going to make it a 5 for strength and 5 for toughness. Then it's going to use an ability. We're casting in the middle. It says instant, so we're casting a non-creature spell. So then it's going to put another +1/+1. So it was 5/5 with that +4/+3, which makes it a, 6/6. So it should make it a 6/6. There we go. Now, if we use another +3/+3, it's going to make it, 9 + 1. So 6 and 1 is 7, so it'd be a 9/7. However, I'm using another instant. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, which is what I'm doing, it's going to do another +1/+1. So do the math. Number on the left is 3. Number on the left is 6. That is 9. The number on the right, the toughness, 6 + 1 is 7. So it's a 9/7. However, I'm doing a non-creature spell, so it's going to get another +1/+1 to make it a 10/8. So it should be a 10/8, which is not enough to win. So I lose. Down to 4 life. That's game. Because I have no blockers, he can attack and win. Oh, he's even... Oh, let me pause that. Let's go back to this, please. View battlefield. Sweet. Awesome. All right. So we get to actually see an enchantment, which we don't get to see many enchantments. I don't think I have any enchantments. Maybe some enchantments in my deck. I don't think I do. So as you can see right here, enchantment, and the special chime of enchantment is an aura. Aura is typically attached to a creature. And as you can see right here, it says enchant creature. So I'm going to use this enchantment to enchant the creature. So he used this card to put onto my guy. This one has a negative effect on me, so that's why he used the enchantment on my creature. Some enchantment auras have a positive effect, so they would obviously use the positive effect on their creature. However, he's just going to use this negative effect on me. So as you can see right here, it says, when Waterknot enters the battlefield, you tap enchanted creature. My creature was already tapped. So if he wasn't tapped, if he was straight up and I never attacked him the last time, he would have to tap my enchanted creature. So it would tap it to the right. Therefore, I cannot use this card to block and or attack until my next turn. So when Waterknot enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. So enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. An untap step is the first step for each person's phase. So if I wouldn't have died and it came back to me, anytime you have a creature that's tapped on your squad, you can put them back up, not tapped anymore. That way you can use them on your next turn. However, with this enchantment, it says enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So he would stay tapped, therefore I could not use him. This obviously has a negative effect. That's why I used it on my creature. So there's that. So I like that. So that explains different things. So as you can see right here, there's ways to get, the game is free, so there's that. But you can do special things, achievements, to actually get gold, which gold you can use at the store to purchase things and whatever. But in order to use this, it says I have to cast 20 white or black spells. I've only been playing with the mono red deck. Mono red, mono anything, which means one color. So I was just playing with a mono red deck. Therefore, I don't get any of this yet. I'll have to play a white or blue deck, which I don't think I'm going to do. I kind of just wanted to go over the basics. And I think on the next video, I think I'll go over more. We'll use a different color. That way you can see actual abilities, actual cool stuff. You can use decks that have multiple colors, which I think I might do that. And I think I'll actually play against another person. I'm going to mute them so they can't do anything for me. Because we're obviously going to go a little slower. And actually, when you play against a person, you do have a timer. So if the timer goes out, it goes to the next person that you're playing against. However, if you lose all the time on your timer 2 times, you're done. You lose the game. That way, people that you play against can't just ruin the game by not taking their turn and waiting for you to quit. Because that's called roping, which is a whole different thing. We're not going to worry about that. But as you can see, we'll play against another person so you can actually see what I'm talking about. I want to go over the basics, some of the keywords. We'll actually use a deck next time that's got more than one keyword and more than one color. So we're going to leave it at that. I want to thank you guys for watching. I know it was a long one. How long are we at? 41 minutes. But at least you got to learn some of the magic, some of the basics. Like I said, Arena is a great way to learn because, like I said, it highlights the cards that you can use. If it's not highlighted, you can't use it. So we're going to leave it at that. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will come out with another video. We'll go over more stuff. But I feel like this is a good little touch in the pool, a little dip in the pool, just so you can kind of see what Magic's all about. But until then, I want to catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching the video all the way through. If you did, really helps the YouTube algorithm. Gives me more watch time, which means more watch time. More of my videos will be shared throughout other people's YouTube feed. So appreciate it. And don't forget, I want to say happy 4th of July to everybody at the time of this filming. Till then, catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one, and thank you for watching.